What's going on, everyone? Yes, today's another toy review, and yes, the epic alien that stands in front of you is the one and only Darkseid, that one uncle that told your ass to stop running around a spaceship. Now, this character here is made by DC Comics. This figure is made and designed by Mezco toys, so they have a little flair on it. Now, just want to say before getting to the review, thank you, ENVYTOYS on Instagram. He was nice enough to actually allow me to do a review of one of his products, and I will say thank you. Thank you very much. If you never heard of ENVYTOYS, please give him a check out on Instagram. He actually sells quite a bit of different things on there. It's always great to actually support local shops and things of that nature. So go ahead and give him a check out. Now, jumping into this review, this figure here is considered a 1/12 figure. So he falls in the class of the 6-inch figures. He's a little bit more bigger just because he's supposed to be a bigger character. Now, dealing with size, here is a Terry McGinnis from Mezco. You see how tall this character really is. This character is huge. Really, really big figure. Now, if I even throw a NECA figure into the mix, here is Dante from Dante's Inferno. And same thing goes. He's actually, Dante, stand your bitch ass up. All right, there we go. He actually stands quite a bit over good old Dante. All right, so that is that, dealing with height. Now, dealing with a good old 360 of good old Darkseid here. As for the look, Mezco did a really, really nice job on keeping that comic book feel. Really nice job. Let me move the arm out the way so you can see on the side of him. So, nicely done. Now, what's neat about this figure, which is actually really, really different coming from a toy line in general. So, I used to collect a lot of statues. I still do, depending on the scenario and just depending on what character I'm dealing with. Sometime I'll pick up a statue. Well, what's odd about this figure, he's actually made from polystone, which polystone is a really heavy material and is a really, it just has a great feel to it. So if you're wondering why Darkseid was kind of pricey, which I think he comes around 180, that is why. Between the polystone and the die-cast metal parts that's in this figure is very heavy. He is not light by any means. You're actually going to get die-cast metal around the collar, around the shoulders, and on the belt itself. Dealing with polystone, I think is mainly just his body and maybe his legs is all polystone. So very heavy. Now, as for an accessory, which add a little bit more weight to this actual character already, his cape here, which is really nicely done as well, his cape has die-cast metal shoulder pads. So overall, this figure is not light by any means. Really nice design on the cape as well. Alright. Now, the other accessories that good old Darkseid comes with, he comes with 4 faces. The face that you see on him, which is the standard neutral face, which take your ass back to bed face. You're going to get his Omega Beam face, which has these little Omega Beams shooting out of his eyes. Really nice touch. And he still has that sinister grin. All right. Now, what's nice about that, his eyes actually light up. So it gives these transparent pieces of plastic a little bit of a light up feature. So that's really cool. So you're going to get that. You're going to get that kind of that slight smirk face. All right. You're going to get a damaged face. Pretty much somebody gave him a good one. He has a bunch of cracks. You can kind of see it probably from the light itself shining through on my right hand side, which I'll show you that with his light up feature, which that's another thing that he has going on with him. Going to get that. You're going to get a total of 5 hands, 2 balled fist hands. So a little bit of fisticuffs going on. Then they're really nicely sculpted as well and painted. Really a lot of detail going on. So they wasn't lazy at all. You're going to get the open palm hand, but pretty much an expression hand. Really, really, really nice. You can also use this as a choke a person out hand. So, and then you're going to get this gripping hand right here, which has a little bit tighter grip. Kind of had the same look as the open palm hands. That's to hold the mother box, or the motherfucking box. So you actually get that, and that does hold on pretty well. Now, dealing with the mother box itself, the mother box itself is also metal. And one, it is really, really detailed. They really did a good job on just the design work in it. Overall, they was not lazy by any means. This is actually magnetic to attach to his back. So you just put that there, and it doesn't go anywhere. So it slides around, so that's cool. You don't got to worry about nothing, you know, being lopsided, because it has more than enough room to work with. Now, the other last accessory, which is pretty common, you get the Mezco stands, which is this right here. Does have a little peg at the bottom, so you can just stand them up if you want, or you can actually take the peg out and attach a see-through arm attachment. Now, to be real with you, big as this figure is, the chances are of you putting that arm attachment around his body, that shit ain't happening. One, he's just way too large for it, and you don't want to break it. There's no reason to use it if you don't need it. He holds his own weight extremely well. I'll show you that to you in a minute. But further as articulation, this is probably a mixed bag here. So dealing with good old Darkseid, his articulation is kind of hindered. I don't know if it was just due to they didn't want to put too much in him to make him more pricey. I'm going to be honest with you. I really feel like at this point, if you're going to go 180, you ought to just say fuck it and keep going and put a little bit more stuff in there for us, further as articulation wise. But the thing is, you don't necessarily have to. It just would be nice. But you're going to get really nice range in the arms. You get full rotation in the arms. His arms can go all the way around, like so. His head is on a nice ball joint. Huge amount of range. He can tilt, look up, which is also nice. Look down. And can do full rotation. So, it's not a problem. Now, dealing with the elbows. This is where I kind of wish the elbows had a little bit more going on, but it's only on a single hinge. He can only bend not even 45 degrees. He can actually bend below that a little bit. So if I put his arm directly straight to his side and bend his arm, that's how high his arm can actually bend. Excuse me. You do get a swivel at the elbow, so you can do this if you like. All right. You're going to get at the wrist. This is on a swivel, or on a hinge rather, which does get a nice amount of range. And the peg system on this wrist is really, really good. You don't got to worry about it breaking or just overall feel cheap when you put it on. Like, everything works out extremely well. Going to his waist, he does not have an abdomen crunch. He only has a waist movement, which is fine. You bend about that much, go about that much back, a little bit of tilt. He probably has more tilt than going forward or back, to be honest with you. And then you can also rotate. The belt itself is free flowing, so this can move around. On his legs, he has a swivel in the thigh, upper swivel. Let me move his arms out the way real quick. You can bring him to do about that far of a splits, which is practically I'm making an angel in the snow shit. Get that. You're going to get about this much lift in his leg, which is not much. There's a little bit. Further as going back, his going back leg, he look like he's skating. His going back leg is actually pretty not bad at all. And that's what I mean by his balance. You can do stupid shit like that. Now, dealing with his bend in his knee, that's on a single hinge. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but it is what it is. Going down to his ankle, he gets about this much going up, that much going down, and he can do a rotation if like. So further as posability, it is pretty hindered, but you're not going to have to worry about too much because I know Darkseid don't do too much movement. If anything, he probably just shooting your ass with Omega beams and slapping the shit out of you every here and there. So it's not really necessary to have him with crazy movement. It would just been nice. As for removing the head, really, really easy to do. And here is his little gimmick that he has. I'll go ahead and put the Omega beams on. Show you how that look. I'll pop that on there. So that is dealing with the Omega beams and the light up feature. I'm going to lower the light in this so you can actually see how bright it actually becomes. Let's do, that's way too bright. Let's do about this. I'll cut this out. I'm going to get dark. So that is the light up feature. Dealing with the Omega beams, I'll turn it to the side so you can actually see how far it goes. So it goes out a little bit, nothing crazy, but you do get a little bit of distance. It might be kind of hard to see on y'all end, but it actually goes out quite a bit. Now dealing with his face that's cracked, I'm gonna pull that off. You can see the LED lights is pretty powerful too, which is nice because most of the time you actually get some shitty LED lights where they don't really have a nice brightness to it. This one actually does. I wish I could actually show y'all even more. Unfortunately, my lens doesn't allow me to get too close to the figure, just due to the fact of, let me see. Nah, really can't do much. I'll turn on this light. Maybe y'all can see better. But really, really nicely done, especially in person. And they wasn't stingy. 3-0. Like when it came to the batteries, you actually get batteries. Who the fuck wants a toy that requires batteries and you don't get them? And you don't even know what kind of batteries you got to buy because they didn't give them to you. It's no fun if the homies can't have a battery to put inside their fucking figure. So that was nice that they actually gave you that. So that is that of good old Darkseid. As for what I think about him, I think it's a nice figure. I will say if you're a person that really don't care about posability and just like the aesthetics of the look, excuse me, and you know, you want to have a nice Darkseid figure, it's great to go with. If it's too pricey to you already and you're not necessarily big on stuff like this, then absolutely you'll just be passing it up. Which, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think when they made this figure, they kind of already knew in mind that they wasn't really going for the more lighter collectors. So they probably was like that wiggle room of maybe somebody will cross over, maybe they won't. But this figure wasn't one of the big pickups, probably because of the cost. Now, as for the weight he could support, here is Zero from Apocalypse Zero. And just to show you how much weight he can support, Apocalypse Zero is actually die-cast metal, and he can hold them. So, hopefully this review helped out. Please continue to collect. Please continue to check out the page. Give me a thumbs up and a sub. And if you got any questions about the figures, feel free to ask, and I will definitely try my best to get back to you and answer those questions. And you can find me on Instagram under the same name, Def the Cornbread. I post a lot of art on there, and I post figures when I feel like it every now and then. So, that is it, and hope you all have a great day. Take care.